Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new. If it's the first time here, my name is Francesca. Hi, and here on my channel I make Sims 4 speed build videos. So in today's video I'm going to be building a traditional family home in the world of Willow Creek, which is one of the base game worlds. And this house is built on a 30 by 20 lot. And the name of the lot is Daisy Hovel. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but it should be called Daisy Hovel. And this house ends up having 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. As I said, I'm building in the world of Willow Creek because every time I build something that feels a bit more traditional or a bit more suburban-y, and this house to me looks very suburban-y, especially from the front. You'll see it looks like a stereotypical suburban home. But yeah, every time I try to build something like this, I usually go for this world because to me Willow Creek is just perfect for this traditional house style. And as you can see, the main structure of the build has already come together. And as always, I worked a little bit on the structure of the house off screen before I started recording. And that's something that I usually do because it makes the editing process later so much easier for me. And also, I always try to make my videos as pleasant for you as possible to watch. And so I think that by working on the structure of the house before I come into my game and start recording, it makes the quality of the video so much better because I don't have a lot of cutting and editing to do later, and so the flow of the video is better. And also because I already know what I'm doing and what I want to go for the structure of the house, I don't spin the camera around too much and I don't give you motion sickness. And I think that it really helps with making the video more pleasant to watch for you. And so that's why I do it, and that's why you see the structure of the build coming together so quickly. As you can see now, I'm working on the exterior of the house and placing down some windows, and before I was placing down some small little details like some pipes and some exterior wall lights. One thing that I want to mention is that I was looking at the picture when I was building this house. I'm going to find the reference picture and I'm going to pop it up on the screen now. So one thing that I really liked about the house in the picture was the color scheme, and so I decided to replicate that as well. And to do that, I used some siding from the base game in this cream swatch, which I think pairs very well with the shingle wallpaper from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack that I used to paint the roof pieces. And then I used this brick wallpaper from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, and that is my new favorite brick wallpaper. I used it in my previous video as well, but I just really like it. And then we also have a stone wallpaper from the base game. In terms of doors and windows, so the front door is from the Strangerville game pack, and I decided to go for that brown swatch because I think it's a nice contrast with the cream of the wallpaper. And the windows are pretty much all base game beside a window that I used in the back, which is from the greenhouse aiming kit, and it's basically where the bump out is, and that bump out ends up being the breakfast nook, and that's why I decided to use that window because it's big and I wanted to have a lot of natural light in the breakfast nook. And over here I used another window which is from the Snowy Escape EP, but this time I used it as a garage window. So I used it to create my own garage door. So basically in The Sims we don't have garage doors because we don't have functional cars, so there is no need for a garage. But I really wanted to have a garage for this house because I think it just makes the house look better from the outside and from the front. And by the way, the car that you see here in the driveway is fake, is from Debug. But anyway, so basically I decided to create my own garage door. And what I did was to place down this window, as I said, from the Snowy Escape EP. And also I placed down this column from the Get Together expansion pack. And that is like the most basic column that you can find in the game. And I lowered it a little bit. And to lower the columns in the game, you have to be on medium wall height, because if you are on short wall height, the game doesn't allow you to lower the columns. And then I placed down this curtain rod from the Desert Lax kit. and I placed that down on top of the windows, and using the tool mod I sized it up a little bit, and so in that way with the columns it creates kind of like a frame for the garage door. And then inside the frame I placed down this backsplash, which is from the kitchen clutter kit, and it's not like a wallpaper, it's a wall decoration, and you can find it in the decoration category. And I really like it because you can decide how many pieces of that backsplash you want, and so yeah, you can kind of like create the idea of having like a different wallpaper at the bottom. And that's why I used it as kind of like to create the garage door. I couldn't find anything for the handle of the garage door, but yeah, I think to me that looks pretty good. Let me know what you think. And yeah, as you can see, now I'm working on the backyard of this house. So in the backyard, I went for a completely different landscaping style because I use a lot more flowers and a lot more colors. I placed down also some lavenders compared to the front of the house, which is more green. And also here in the backyard, I placed down a tent, which is from the Little Campers kit. And I never used that item before because I find it very big and I never know how to use it or where to use it. But this time I wanted to try something different because I wanted to make the backyard of the house as family friendly, as kids friendly as I could possible. Because I was thinking that this house belongs to a family of 4, which is made of a set of parents, an infant, and a kid. But also I was thinking that the sister of the mom lives here, but I'm going to talk about that more in details once I move into the inside of the house and I furnish the bedrooms. But yeah, as you can see, now I'm still working like on the backyard, and what I wanted to say is that I wanted to make this backyard feel as if is for a family. And so I placed down, as I said, that tent, and inside the tent I tried to make it as cozy as possible by placing down a blanket, some pillows, Bigfoot, some books, and a lamp, and they're all from the Little Campers kit. And I also placed down a cooler outside the tent because maybe, I don't know, the parents brought some drinks or some food for the kids to eat while they're in the tent, maybe telling a story. And then I also placed down a bucket, which is from Seasons, and I think it's supposed to be like a bucket for the kids to play with balls. I also placed down a soccer ball because I was thinking that maybe the kid of the house after school sometimes invites some friends over and they maybe play with the ball or they play inside the tent. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the backyard. I also placed down a table with some chairs and an umbrella from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. And on the back porch, I placed down a love seat from Laundry Day stuff pack, placed down some pillows on top of it, and also placed down a grill. The backyard is very short and simple, but I really like it because it's something different, I think, just because maybe I used the tent, but it feels like very family friendly to me. And as you can see now, I moved into the inside of the house and I'm furnishing the entryway. So in the entryway, I placed down this stool from the Overstory expansion pack, and on the stool, I placed down this grocery bag, which is from the kitchen clutter kit and is such an adorable object to me. And for this house, the idea was on the inside to make it as lived in and as realistic as possible. I wanted to use like realistic clutter pieces for this house. So I placed down some shoes in the entryway, a basketball, I placed down a side table, and I decorated the side table using like some clutter from the Grunge Mudroom kit, which is the newest kit. And those objects are so adorable because we have like a bag, we have like normal objects that you would find in a house. And so we have some letters, some keys, sunglasses, and at the bottom of the side table I placed down these buckets which are from the same kit, and they're so adorable. And I also placed down on the side table in the entryway a bottle for an infant because I was thinking that maybe this family was kind of like in a rush when they were leaving or the house, or when they were coming back, and so they maybe left the bottle for the infant on the side table. And I also placed down a backpack and some more shoes, because as I said, I wanted to make it as lived in as possible. And as you can see now, I'm working on the dining room. So the dining room is very simple. I placed down a dining table and some chairs, but I forgot to change the swatch of the chairs. So when I went back and I started taking the screenshots, I could change the swatch for the chairs because I didn't like how this swatch looks with the dining table. It doesn't match. And so when I was taking the screenshots, I also changed the swatch. But yeah, beside that, I placed down a chest of drawers from the Cottage Living EP. I didn't want to use another side table because I felt like I already used a side table in the entryway, so I swapped that for a chest of drawers from Cottage Living, and I cluttered it up with some plates, some photo frames, and that is pretty much it for the dining room. As you can see now, I'm furnishing the living room. So in the living room, I used this fireplace from Parenthood, and I also kind of created my own bookcase by using some Book Nook kit bookcases. But the thing with the Book Nook kit bookcases is that they come with like modular pieces, and you can kind of create your own bookcase, and you can kind of like choose how tall you want that to be. But to me, sometimes I don't like the bookcases in general in The Sims, especially like this one, because there are like too many books. Obviously, there are also some shelves that you can use to not have too many books, but I kind of wanted to have something that felt like more like less open. And so instead of using the modular pieces from the Book Nook kit, I placed down some cabinets from the base game, and this swatch matches very well with the one from the Book Nook kit bookcase. So I thought it looked pretty good, and so I decided to keep the cabinets instead of using kind of like the shelves of that kit. And yeah, I really like the way it looks. And yeah, and then as you can see here, I'm cluttering up the coffee table, and I tried to make it seem as if the family was playing some kind of like board games or something. And by placing down some like cards, or like some like a box which looks like a box with like cards in it, and which is from the Growing Together expansion pack. And as you can see here, I'm trying to kind of create like a basket for the wood for the fireplace. So I basically placed down some wood, some logs from the debug category, and I tried to place them inside this is a hamper from the Slick Bathroom Kit. I had to lower the hamper a little bit by using the tool mod, and because the hamper was a little bit too high, too tall, so I lowered it a little bit, and I created a basket for the wood to use for the fireplace. Obviously it's not functional, but I thought it was kind of cute. And also here we have a couple of couches. So one is from the base game, the beige one is from the base game, and the other couch is from the Book Nook kit. And I don't know if I like that swatch that I picked, but every time I use the Book Nook kit couch, I usually go for the cream swatch. And so this time I wanted to try something different, and I went for that pinkish swatch. I don't know if I like it, to be honest. Maybe I'm a bit thrown off by the orange blanket. I don't like the orange blanket, but yeah, I wanted to use a different swatch, so I not being too repetitive. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for the living room. I'm now cluttering up the bookcases, and I also placed down some more buckets from the baskets, not buckets, sorry, baskets from the Grunge Mudroom kit. Those baskets are so adorable. And as you can see now, I moved into the kitchen. So the living room and the kitchen are kind of like a big open space. I feel like I haven't talked about the floor plan of this house. So The floor plan of this house, I feel like it's kind of like a bit realistic because I tried to look for the floor plan of the real house that I showed you before and I could find it. And so I was like, why not try to replicate the floor plan so I make this house as realistic as possible? Because sometimes in The Sims, floor plans are not that realistic because we don't need like a lot of rooms, or like some rooms that you would find in a real floor plan are completely useless in the game. But this time I wanted to have kind of like those useless room, and so basically I tried to copy the floor plan of this house. So we have, as I said, we have a real garage. I decorated a garage as if it's like a real garage. And we also have a walk-in closet. Unfortunately, I didn't film me furnishing the walk-in closet because I thought that this video was going to be already too long because there are a lot of rooms. And so I didn't film me furnishing the walk-in closet. But if you're patient enough to wait until the end of the video, there are some screenshots of it if you're curious to see what it looks like. And also another room that we have, which I found in the real floor plan of this house, is kind of like a game room, which is going to be upstairs because if you can see now in the living room, we don't have a TV. And I thought it was really important for a family to have a TV in their house. So I decided to keep the game room and turn it into something like a movie room where there is a TV and there is a space for the kids and for everyone to play and to have fun. But as you can see now, I'm still kind of like working on the kitchen and on the breakfast nook that I mentioned before. I cluttered up the table here in the breakfast nook to make it seem as if maybe the family was trying to make some cookies or was trying to bake something. And because, as I said, I wanted to make it as realistic as possible, so I placed down like some clutter pieces to make it seem as if like the family is actively using the house. And all of them are all from the kitchen clutter kit. The kitchen clutter kit is such a good kit to me because it comes with objects that are so realistic. I really, really love that kit. And if you like to build like me, I highly recommend getting that kit. But anyway, as you can see now, I'm furnishing kind of like this hallway. And I didn't know what to do with this hallway, so I placed down like some counters just to make it seem as if it's kind of like, I don't know what you call it, but it's more like a bar room where maybe you keep some bottles. I don't know, some bottle of wine, I don't know. But yeah, as you can see now, I'm furnishing the mudroom. And for the first time, I have a mudroom in my house. So for the longest time, I've been wanting to have a mudroom, but I never know how to make it work. And finally, we have a mudroom dedicated kit, and I'm so happy about it. Even though it's not kind of like an essential room in the game, but it's just so nice to have different types of rooms. And so in the mudroom, I placed down this new bench from the kit, and everything from that room is from the new kit. And this new kit, as I said, is so adorable. I love every single object, every single piece of furniture from this kit. And so I decided to use the same furniture here in the laundry room. So this house also has a small laundry room, and in the laundry room, as I said, I placed down kind of like this shelf, which is from the mudroom kit. And I also decided to keep the wallpaper, which is the same one that I used in the mudroom. And this wallpaper is also from the new kit. And as you can see now, I'm trying to decorating the shelf by placing down some pillows, some towels. So the pillows, I think they are a debug item from high school years, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember correctly, but should be from high school years. And then we have some towels. Yeah, pretty much a lot of towel, I would say, in this room. We obviously have a washing machine and a dryer. And I also placed down some baskets. Some of them are from the Dream Home Decorator game pack, and the other baskets are the ones that I used also in the entryway, and they're from the new kit. And on the washing machine, I placed down a soap detergent, a soap bar, some towels, and a laundry basket. And one thing that I completely forgot to mention when I was doing the backyard, and that I just remembered now for some reason, is that I don't know if you could notice as I was spinning the camera around when I was doing the backyard. I don't know if you could notice that the inside of the house was already furnished, and that is because I was so stuck when I was in the backyard that I didn't know what to do. And so I thought that maybe if I moved into the inside of the house and I started furnishing all the rooms and then come back to it, it would help. And it really did help. And so that's why you see the inside of the house already furnished when I'm doing the backyard. And that was completely off topic, but I felt like was something that was worth to mention because I like to edit my videos in a way that I do the exterior first and then I do the inside because I like how it flows. But yeah, maybe you were wondering, why is the inside of the house already furnished? And that is why. But as I said, I like to edit my videos in a way that it shows first how I do the exterior and then I move into the interior because that's how I like it. But yeah, anyway, as I said, that was completely off topic. And as you can see, now I moved into the garage of the house. And in this garage, I used a lot of the stuff from the workshop kit because to me, that kit is really perfect for furnishing garages. And so I used a lot of stuff from that kit. I placed down some shelves from that kit and I decorated those shelves with some like they're like boxes which you can stack upon one another. And I also placed down this box with like some like random stuff in it, which is from I think the what is the name of that kit? I can't remember the name of that kit. I'm so sorry. It's something about the vintage stuff, not vintage. The basement treasures, that is the kid, that is the name of the kid. And on the shelves I also placed down like some other boxes and a watering can, some dog food because I was thinking that maybe this family has a dog. I also placed down some pet bowls in the breakfast nook. And I also placed down a table which is from the workshop kit. I don't know if it's like a functional table, but I think it's supposed to be like a working table. And I also placed down next to it these sticky notes which are from the Parenthood Debug category. And so I thought they were like maybe some sticky notes that one member of the family left there to remind themselves what they have to do next. And as you can see over here, I'm placing down this sink, which is also from the workshop kit. And yeah, this garage, I tried to make it as realistic as possible. I even googled on Pinterest real garages pictures because I wanted to see how a real garage looks like because I have a garage in my house, but my dad uses the garage as like its own workshop room, and so I don't think it looks like a real garage anymore. And so yeah, I had to google some pictures and just for some inspiration. And so I saw that a lot of pictures had like the shells and stuff, but also like some bikes. And so I thought to place down also some bikes for the kids and also a trash can. And I think that's pretty much it. And as you can see, now I moved into what is the guest bedroom. And I was thinking, as I mentioned before, that the sister of the mom lives with the family and she sleeps in this bedroom. And I was also thinking that she's not a very tidy sim, and so I tried to show that with this room. So I placed down some dirty mugs on the side table, and I'm also placing down this luggage to show that she's here temporarily, but also I rotated it with true mod to kind of place it on the floor rather than the luggage being straight up, so the room would look a little bit more messy. And I also placed down some clothes next to it. And also I'm placing down this chest of drawers, and I decided to like clutter it up a lot because I was thinking that the mom's sister, she's a lot younger compared to the mom. She's maybe a young adult whilst the mom is an adult, and I was thinking that she still likes to go out, she still likes to party, to go to the club, and so maybe she likes to wear makeup and dress up. And so I tried to show that with this room. And so on the chest of drawers, I placed down this mirror, which is for like putting makeup on, and I placed down a load of makeup products, a purse, and yeah, I really tried to show the fact that she still likes to go out, she's still young, but also she's a very good person and she likes to take care of the kids when the parents are not home. She's kind of like the fun auntie, and I really like that idea. But yeah, as you can see, this room is like very messy, and I really like that because I like the fact that even though it's a guest room, so it's supposed to be very generic, but even though, yeah, it's just a guest room, it's still kind of like more personalized and it feels more personal. And as you can see now, I moved into the master bedroom. So the master bedroom belongs to the parents, and here I placed down a bed from the Life and Death EP. I never used this bed before, but I really like this particular swatch, which has the kind of like light blue bedspread and some, like, I don't know, are they light blue or are they teal pillows? I don't know, but I really like this swatch. And then also the side tables are from the same expansion pack. I don't know if you could notice, but at the bottom of every single side table or shelf, I placed down the baskets from the mudroom kit. I was literally obsessed with that basket, and so I placed that down everywhere, and I'm so sorry for that, but I just really like that item. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm also placing down an armchair from the Cats and Dogs EP. I tried to make this room more fancy and more tidy compared to other rooms, because obviously like the kids and the infant and the other room bedrooms, they are more, obviously I haven't shown you the other two rooms yet, but I mean compared to the guest bedroom, this bedroom is more tidy, and I was thinking that maybe like the parents are more tidy and they like to, you know, keep their room clean and not messy. And also this bedroom has an ensuite bathroom, which I'm going to show you in a bit. But yeah, I think that is going to be the only bathroom that I'm going to show you, because honestly the other bathrooms, which are three, we have three more, they are all the same. And so I decided to just show you the ensuite bathroom. And one thing that I want to say about the bathrooms of this house is that we have two bathrooms upstairs, which are more for the kids, because upstairs we have the infant and the kids bedroom, and also the game slash movie room. And so I tried to make the bathrooms upstairs more like kids friendly. And then the other bathroom is actually an ensuite bathroom for the guest room, and I thought that it made more sense for the guest room to have its own bathroom. But anyways, you can see here for the master bathroom, I placed down like I'm going to place down a shower and place down a toilet and the counters from the base game, and I cluttered them up with like some objects from the bathroom clutter kit. I tried to make it a little bit cluttered, this bathroom, maybe compared to the bedroom, because I think that maybe the bathroom is allowed to be a bit more cluttered, because when you're getting ready, maybe you leave some stuff on the counters, and I also left on the counter in hair dryer. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the bathroom. And also there's a door in this bathroom that leads to the walk-in closet of the master bedroom. Unfortunately, I'm not showing you, as I said, the footage of me furnishing the walk-in closet, and I don't even have the footage because I thought that the video was going to be long enough, and I don't know, I felt that that room was not that useful. I don't know why, but now I kind of regret it because I never did a walk-in closet before. And so now I kind of regret not showing you the walk-in closet. But anyway, as you can see now, I moved upstairs and I started furnishing the game slash movie room. So as I said, I really want this house to have a TV, and so I decided to use this room not as a bedroom but as a movie room. So I placed down a couch, which is from the Book Nook kit. I placed down that couch in the bedroom, sorry, not bedroom, in the living room downstairs as well. But this couch looks very cozy because it's got a blanket, and so I decided to use it here as well in a different swatch. And we have a big TV. We have the infant playmat because we have an infant in this house, and placed down some toys. And I also placed down some like kids drawings on the walls because I wanted to make it seem as if maybe like the kids were drawing something and the family really liked it and they decided to, you know, have the drawings on the walls. And yeah, that room feels like very like a game room where the family maybe reunites in the evening and spend some time together, or maybe sometimes, I don't know, the mom or the dad of the house, they go watch some TV and put the infant on the playmat and they just relax a bit. In that room, I also placed down like a football. What is the name of that object? Is the object from the get together football table? Football table? No, I don't think that's what you call it. But you know what I mean. I'm sorry, I completely forgot the name of that item. But yeah, and then also I used the table to draw for the kids. I'm not sure what you call it again. It's from Eco Lifestyle, but it's a table where essentially the kids can draw. And yeah, I don't know, sorry, I don't do gameplay, so I don't know what that table exactly does, but should be something for the kids. And also that room also has a bathroom, and that is one of the bathrooms that I was talking about before that is supposed to be like a kid's bathroom. And then over here, as you can see, I'm furnishing the infant room. So for the infant room, obviously we have a crib, we have a changing table. I like this room a lot. I like the light yellow, pastel yellow wallpaper in here. I really like the color scheme. For some reason, every single time I try to furnish or decorate an infant room, every single time I go for like brown slash yellow slash green stuff. I don't know what it is, but I really like this color scheme for an infant room. And then next to the crib, I placed down an armchair, and on the armchair, I placed down this kid toy, this plushie, and a pillow. And the armchair is completely functional even with those objects on it, so don't worry, I play tested it. And then I tried to scatter some toys around this room. And yeah, as I said, I really like the color scheme in here. I like the curtains, especially which are from the high school years expansion pack, and the rug, the rug is adorable, is from the Horse Ranch EP. Yeah, I really like that room. It's very small, I must admit, but it's very sweet to me. And as you can see here, I moved on and I started furnishing the kids' bedroom. So if you could notice, in every single bedroom, I decided to use carpet because every single time I think about a traditional suburban family home, I think about bedrooms with carpet, except in the master bedroom because I wanted to make it more fancy, and so I decided to use, you know, wood flooring. But here and in the other rooms we have carpet, which in real life it's something that I hate. I lived in London for 5 years, and in one of my flats that I rented there was carpet, and it was a nightmare to clean, honestly. And I don't know, to me carpet equals dirt for some reason. And so I really don't like carpets, but here in the game, we don't really care. And so, yeah, as you can see, now I'm furnishing the kids' bedroom. And so I was thinking that, I mean, I don't want to say that this kid is into sports, but I placed down a lot of balls in this house. Also, I think in the entryway, yes, in the entryway, I placed down like a basketball. And I don't want to make this kid into sports, but to be fair, in The Sims, what else can you do with kids? Like, you don't have many choices, and also like a lot of like posters in the game are sports related. But yeah, I tried to make it maybe into sports, but like not too much into sports, you know what I mean? And as you can see, I placed down a bed, which is from the base game, and the side table is from the laundry. No, it's from Parenthood, sorry. And at the bottom of the side table, of course, I had to place down the baskets from the mudroom kit. And overall, I really like how this room turned out. It's very cluttered, I must admit, but I really like the color scheme in here. And I also placed down a desk from, I think, the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, and I placed down some books. I didn't place down a computer, so here's one thing that I forgot to mention when I was doing the kitchen. So I realized when I was taking the screenshots that this house doesn't have a laptop or a computer, and so I thought that it was kind of essential in The Sims to maybe have a computer for your Sims. And so basically what I did was to change a little bit the island of in the kitchen. And on the island, I don't know if you could remember, but I placed down like, I think it was some flowers and some cereal boxes. And so I moved them to another side of the island. And on one side of the island, I placed down a laptop. So in this way, in this house, you have a laptop or like a computer, because I thought that it was essential since I didn't place one down in the kids' bedroom. Because in the beginning, I was planning on placing a computer down in this bedroom, but then I thought, I don't know, I don't want this kid to have a computer. And so I didn't do it. But then I was like, you know what, it's kind of essential to have a laptop or a computer in this room. And I thought that maybe we could have a laptop on the island in the kitchen, because we have this big island with, you know, some stools. And so yeah, I decided to place the laptop down there. But yeah, as you can see, now I'm still working on the kids' bedroom. This bedroom took me a really long time because it's so cluttered. As you can see, we have like a backpack on the floor, some shoes. I tried to make it, you know, as realistic as possible. So I was thinking that maybe the kid came back from school and they just threw their backpack on the floor. And as you can see over here, I'm kind of doing something with the bed because I thought that the bed looked kind of plain. And so basically what I did was to use some pillows, which are the same pillows that I used in the laundry room, and I used them and I rotated them in a way that they were horizontal. And I also used this other pillow from the Little Campers kit, and I placed them down on the bed, as well as some plushies. One is from the 4NDP and the other one, I think it's from the kids stuff pack. And I really like the look of the bed now. It looks less plain and it looks more like a kid bed. And don't worry, because the bed is completely functional. I playtested the entire house and I only had two issues. One was with the fridge, because my sim wouldn't want to put leftovers back in the fridge. I don't know why, because the fridge was completely functional, but when I tried to put the leftovers back in the fridge, it wouldn't work. And I tried everything. I moved the entire kitchen around and it still wouldn't work. So I don't know if it's a bug or what it is. If you guys know, please let me know, because I was going crazy and still it doesn't work and I don't know why. And another issue that I had was in the master bedroom. So my sim wouldn't want to sleep on one side of the bed, but that was a small problem because basically I just had to scoot the bed a little bit into the wall and the problem was fixed. And as you can see now, I'm furnishing the last room of this house, which is the upstairs hallway. And with this room we reached the end of the video. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel for more speedbuild videos, and I'm going to leave you with the screenshots of the entire house, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye!